Well, Jeff, if you've been coming on these lunch and learns for, since the pandemic started, is there anything that you want to share with knowing what Dante and Anne are doing out here with CalABLE? Coming in. I wondered if you just had any thoughts about the CalABLE program. I know you're in Massachusetts, but I feel like you've been on some of the calls where they've presented before, and I think you remember learning that Dante even has a CalABLE account, and Anne actually it has her own family connections to autism. So I'd just be interested if you had anything you wanted to share. Hi, Rachel.
Well, I think in terms of CalABLE, I think it's a very good system for families to turn to if the individual wants to get, achieve financial goals like, getting your own apartment or getting, your own method of transportation that doesn't involve, being at $2,000 all the time. So I think that's been really helpful. I think that's really helpful for a lot of families, and it's too bad we don't have, something like that here in Massachusetts. So
you actually do. There is a program in Massachusetts. I think it's called Massachusetts ABLE. But again, even if so ABLE is based on federal law. And so there are, I think, 46 other states that offer a program, plus the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. offers an ABLE program. And for many of those programs, including for California's program, you can be a resident anywhere in the United States and still participate in the program. So even if you were in Massachusetts, if you wanted to open a CalABLE account, you could, or you can look into your own state's program.
That would be really amazing if you do that. Maybe you could be for sure our ambassador at Autism Tree. Yeah. So, I mean, we already have the partnership with CalABLE, but that would be nice for you to, if you do it, to share about your experience and everything.
Mm-hmm. So if there's a family who moves out, like they started a CalABLE account and they're in California and they moved out of state, would that be able to transfer?
Yeah, so there are two ways that you could go about it. The first way would be do nothing. You're still able to maintain your CalABLE account even if you live in another state, so it doesn't matter. The other thing you could do is you could say, hey, I've moved to Texas and I want to open a Texas ABLE account. You could do what we call a rollover. And that's where you roll over all the funds that you have in your CalABLE account into a Texas ABLE account. You're only allowed to have one ABLE account at a time. So you have to close one to open another. But you can absolutely change that. If it were the other way around, say if you were living in Texas, and Texas is a state that only allows state residents to participate in their program, and you move to California, then you would have to do that rollover if you want to keep your ABLE account. But for our program here in California, doesn't matter where you live, as long as you live in the United States, you can have a CalABLE account.
Amazing. I love that. Very good to know. Because our league's all over the US. So all right.
If you want to get started, or
no,
I was
go
going to
ahead.
say it's probably good to know the comparison about these ABLE programs. In general, they're very similar. Again, they're all based on federal law, right? But there are some differences, and sometimes there's subtle differences, like whether or not you have to live in the state in order to participate in the program. Other differences can be the fees, what it costs to maintain these accounts. They may vary slightly. For the most part, they're all relatively in line, but it may be a few dollars here, a few dollars there. The one other way that they differ, and this can be significant, is if the states have passed additional laws that will enhance their ABLE program for in-state residents. So some states offer a tax deduction for folks who contribute to an ABLE account. Here in California, we don't do that, but that can be a significant incentive for third parties to contribute to an individual's ABLE account. And if you don't have that state's ABLE program, if you're not participating in that state's ABLE program, then you don't get that benefit. Here in California, we passed a law that says that Medicaid will not recover money left over in your ABLE account once the beneficiary passes away. That's something that's part of the federal law. Well, Medi-Cal won't do that here in California if you have a CalABLE account. So that can be a significant savings for folks.
Yeah,
Thank you. We're learning every time we meet, for sure.
Yeah.
I know. I love it. I'm so glad that we're doing multiple of these because new questions pop up every single time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and get started now that more people.
Hi, Rhonda. Who else is on here, Rebecca?
We've got Rhonda, we've got Brain Balance San Diego, one of their employees. Hello and welcome. I know they serve a lot of families in San Diego, and another Zoom user. So hello to all the families, and I know a lot of families will watch this in the future since we're recording it. So hello to you all at home as well. We'll go ahead and get started. We have a quick intro for those of you who are new. Let's see. Getting my Zoom slideshow up. Okay. So happy Wednesday, everyone. A couple Zoom rules. Please mute yourself when you're not speaking. We recommend speaker view for presentation. Video sharing is optional, though we love to see your smiling faces. Please type all questions and comments into the chat. We will have a Q&A. You can feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions during the Q&A, or you can type your questions into the chat and I can read it for you. I'll help monitor that for our guest speaker today. A quick update from Autism Tree. We've now reached over 700,000 people across all of our social media channels. If you don't follow us on all of our socials, I recommend it. We post every single day, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that jazz. It's so much fun to see what's happening and going on in our community. We have now recorded and posted 88 lunch and learns on our YouTube channel. They're in one big playlist. You can go to our YouTube channel, go to playlists, and we have a different guest speaker every single week. So there's a lot of great resources. I always refer new families to our community to go check those out. We also coordinate, we have 19 different programs at Autism Tree. And since this January 1st, we've already coordinated 122 events this year, with 54 coming up between now and the end of December. We always add to our events calendar every single week and month. So always check back to our website, our event calendar, or on our social media. On Facebook, we have an event calendar there where you can sign up for all of our events. They're free to attend. You just need to RSVP, including these lunch and learns. We offer, like I said, 19 programs virtually. 12 of those are happening in person in San Diego County. So if you're interested, if you live in San Diego, we'd love to have you. A lot of our programs are also hybrid. So we do have a virtual component for those of you who live outside of San Diego County or in a different state. We'd love to have you participate. We have 465 videos on our YouTube channel, and 405 of those videos, if you can believe it, we posted since March of 2020. So that's big thanks to our volunteers, our community partners, who have all put an effort into providing resources and for our families. It's been incredible. So thanks to everyone. Special thank you to our Lunch and Learn sponsor, CalABLE. Thank you, thank you. We've done, I think this is our 4th Lunch and Learn with CalABLE. They're just an incredible team who have a huge heart for our families, and they have so much knowledge that they're going to share with you today. I'm very excited to hear from them, and they'll talk more about CalABLE, what it is. There's the link to their website if you want to check them out as well. And without further ado, this is our 89th Lunch and Learn. So I will pass it off to our executive director, who will do a little intro as well.
Hi, TPF family. I just want to tell you how blessed I am each week with these Lunch and Learns. I know once in a while when we're in turbo, especially at year end last year, I don't know if Rebecca and I thought that we were going to move forward this year, but it's just been wonderful. And there is no exaggeration how these Lunch and Learns have turned into a very big resource library. I'll give you one example from what I'm doing out here in Las Vegas right now is we have had thousands of football players as part of our mentor program at USD. And it was started by Sandy Anderson, who has a son who's nonverbal and lives in a group home, and he's probably in his 30s. And then Joel Anderson, who's an artist and has been a Star Foundation since the beginning. And most of you are familiar with his artwork. And so these football players very much look at Sandy Anderson as their football mom from Autism Tree. She coordinated it. And then John Hickey came on board. Most of you know John. He's also been with our foundation since 2005. He has a son who's in college right now with Asperger's. And between Sandy Anderson and John Hickey, they've always been our parent base for Autism Tree. So Mama Sandy and and John's just like the coach and dad. And so they both know where our players are at any given time. And I'm talking about probably 1,000 football players because we started in 2008. And so one of our football players from way back, they knew he's out here in Las Vegas. He's actually went to the high school he's now head coach at. And this high school has 2,500 high schoolers. It has over 300 special education students. This football coach works directly with the special education program. He brought to Autism Tree the special education director. So I just met with him at the campus yesterday. He's phenomenal. I don't know all the football players, but I'm going to end up sending him 3 Lunch and Learns from Audie, who has been playing football since college in Japan, who did a Lunch and Learn, from Kyle Negretti, who was our first football player liaison. And I know there's one other, and I'm just blanking, but I can't wait for you to all just know one wonderful football player out here who his name is Shane Kiney. I posted a 1-minute video of him yesterday, and I think it'll really light you up just to know the level of heartbeat that goes on. This is one player, one, and what he's doing, it just can't be exaggerated. He just came off doing the largest football camp in the state of Nevada. He did it with the help of the NFL alumni and another football player that any of you football fans would probably recognize. And he says it in the video. I can't remember, but it's a football player who has a foundation, and I probably should know who he is. But I just feel very blessed by this is how we do it. It's one heartbeat to the next heartbeat. And I literally hadn't met Shane in person until yesterday. And I just went, yeah, this is how it works. This is how we do what we do. Why do we do so many programs like events? Is because the amount of social communication that happens, not only for the child that has autism or Asperger's, but how about for the family unit? So they start getting out in the community and communicating more and meeting more friends. And I mean, there's just no way to exaggerate. We're turning 20, and the tree and the roots, there are so many alumni people from Autism Tree out here in Las Vegas, and it's just amazing that we get to experience this. And so our branches keep growing, and we just try to keep growing with it. And I'm really excited for you guys to know that we are starting officially a mentor program with this coach, with his players, with their special education department this weekend in Las Vegas. So I just can't say enough about the ripple effect of all the work that we do together. It just can't be quantified. And on that note, I want everyone to give Rebecca extra big love and the team, because we have taken in more new families right now at mid-year, which is a lot of work. It takes a lot of time and energy and months of work to help that family navigate everything. We're at over 300 families. That's more than all of last year. This is new families, not all the families we already serve, which is thousands. All you have to do is look at the photo album. So I just, wanted to share with you how very, very proud and touched I am by these lunch and learns, how much we use them daily in our communication and helping people understand a variety of things, like the football coach. I'm sending him 2 other inspirations so he can do one. And then, with CalABLE, I just feel like we've come so far in that I see that CalABLE is helping one family at a time like we are. And I've really, really enjoyed getting to know the ambassadors with you. I've been very touched personally to get to know a little more about Dante and how he's even using CalABLE, and getting to know Anne has family members with autism. It's very meaningful. And so I want to say thank you, CalABLE. Thank you, Dante. Thank you, Anne. And give the floor over to you and give everybody big hugs today. And thank you for all the love that I feel everyone that ever shows up puts forward. That's why we're still doing Lunch and Learns. It's forward motion every time. So thank you for being here today too.
Thank you, Dana. It really has been a pleasure for us to get to know both you and Rebecca and the Autism Tree Project Foundation. I think this has been a great partnership, and look forward to continuing to get to know you and let you all get to know CalABLE. We wanted to, today in our presentation, first and foremost, we wanted to learn from the feedback that we've gotten from those of you who may have listened before about CalABLE and want to know what you were really interested in. And one of the things that you told us in the feedback that we got was you want to know more about eligibility. You also wanted to hear more from the real people who are actually using these CalABLE accounts. And we've tried to provide that to you by having our ambassadors on board. And today we thought that we might do a little bit of both, let you hear from other folks and talk about eligibility. And we thought that we could do this in a way that gives you a little bit of a sneak peek. So we're going to show you something that we haven't shared publicly yet. So you guys this is an exclusive premiere, so to speak. We're planning on sharing one of our first ads for our new campaign called We Are CalABLE. And the purpose of this campaign is to do exactly what you all said that you want to hear more of, is hear stories about the real people who are using these accounts. So I'll let Anne take it away and share the first look at our new campaign.
Oh, wait.
I was really excited when I read about CalABLE. Honestly, it seemed too good to be true.
I come from a background where we don't know anything about savings. That is not in the subject at a dinner table.
Design is really easy, step by step. You just need to fill it in, and then boom, it just goes like that.
Hello, my name is Fiona Ma, and I'm the California State Treasurer. I'm proud to serve as the board chair for the CalABLE program. CalABLE is a tax-advantaged savings and investment program helping thousands of Californians living with disabilities achieve a better quality of life every day. Don't just take my word for it. Explore the powerful stories of real CalABLE account holders and parents of account holders from around the state. These individuals and families have been able to change their lives and plan for their futures in a way that was not possible a few years ago. When you open a CalABLE account, you are opening the door to a world of possibilities. Get ready to be inspired and consider opening a life-changing CalABLE account for yourself or tell a loved one about CalABLE. We are CalABLE, and we would love to welcome you to our CalABLE community.
There's a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of instruments that we can use to benefit them. So if we can do it, why not?
I'm using my CalABLE account by every month putting $2 in my CalABLE account so that in 4 or 5 years when Cleo retires, I'll have enough money for travel and expenses when I go get my successor dog.
CalABLE just made it easier to save and easier to set money aside, and really gave me kind of motivation to save, because I knew I could grow my savings in a way that I couldn't if I just put it in a regular investment account or a traditional bank account or something. So that really motivated me to save a lot more, and I think it's a really great thing for people who are still on some kind of benefit.
ABLE, which stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience, enables me to be able to provide tools for my children to help them better communicate and relate to the world by using these funds to pay for their horseback riding, which is therapy, music therapy, and art therapy.
We are so excited because we used our CalABLE account. We took money out of it for the first time a few months ago. Dylan got a bigger wheelchair, and that was amazing and exciting, and we fought with insurance for a long time to get it, and then we found out it doesn't fit in our car. So all that excitement about a new wheelchair was super stressful. We didn't have a bigger car, we didn't have the money to buy it, but then we realized that we had money saved in CalABLE. So we sold our old car and used the money in our CalABLE account to have extra money to buy a bigger, nicer car, and it fits his wheelchair amazingly.
I opened my CalABLE account so I can save for my future, and so I can buy my first car and get a place of my own, a new house, or for my future family and children.
Life without CalABLE was pretty much rocky. Money management, having to call me, and you're actually going over a resource.
I've made some mistakes in our accounting and been fined by Social Security, and so I was always very stressed about how do I have responsible financial choices and savings but not make a mistake and harm our Social Security account and eligibility. And so that's what CalABLE has done.
Hey, say you want to open up the account, put in your information, wait for the 2 small deposits to show up, input it in the system, boom, 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 you have your CalABLE.
It probably doesn't go a day that I'm not talking about CalABLE and sharing it and telling everybody about the benefits of how it helps Bradley. Like I said, I won't stop talking about it, but I will bring it up to anybody and everybody that is interested, and even if they're not.
And you have a better quality of life. You're mentally, physically, emotionally, you're healthier, regardless of what you have or what you don't have.
Consider opening up a CalABLE account because there's no fear. It's a California treasure.
Having my CalABLE account helped me purchase my first home.
I want every single one of you to share and be able to experience what I experienced and the benefits I got having a CalABLE account.
We are CalABLE. It's not, Stephen is not CalABLE, Bradley's not CalABLE, but it's all of us together.
We are CalABLE.
Hello, I'm Dante Allen, the Executive Director of CalABLE. Before CalABLE accounts existed, people with disabilities receiving government benefits couldn't save more than $2,000 or they were at risk of losing their benefits. The best part? You can save up to $100,000 in your CalABLE account and keep receiving government benefits like SSI. And even if you are not receiving benefits, a CalABLE account can still be helpful to grow your money tax-free and use it at any time for qualified expenses without penalties. Think about all the ways that saving money could change your life. What could a CalABLE account do for you? We would love to welcome you to the CalABLE community. We are CalABLE.
There you go, Dante. Back to you.
Thanks for sharing that. And so you are the first public audience that's taken a look at that. We haven't shared that at all yet. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully it gave you some ideas on how you might be able to use a CalABLE account. But we'd love some feedback. So please do share if there are any thoughts that you have. So today's presentation, I thought we would talk a little bit about eligibility. Hopefully, can you all see what I'm sharing here?
Yes, I can.
Great. Let's see, slideshow from the beginning. So one of the elements of feedback is folks had questions about what it meant on who's eligible to open an account. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Of course, you can use a CalABLE account to plan for the future. And like folks said in the video, one of the individuals used the money to purchase a bigger car that would support her son's wheelchair. Another person used it to buy their first house. As a matter of fact, she told us that she had enough to cover the closing costs and for purchasing her first home. And what CalABLE is a tool that allows you to plan for your future needs and also be ready for the needs that you have today. So with a CalABLE account, you can save up to $16,000 a year or even more if you're working and contributing a part of your own income. You can receive contributions from family and friends and not impact your benefits. As a matter of fact, it's not counted as all those contributions from friends and family. You can grow your money through investments, and that growth can happen tax-free. You don't pay any income taxes on that money in your account. And when you withdraw it, as long as you're withdrawing it for qualified expenses, you don't pay any income taxes or penalties on that money. You can use that money at any time. You can pull it out whenever you need it. And it's tax-free, penalty-free, as long as you're using it for things that help to maintain or improve your health, your independence, or your quality of life. And you can save up to $100,000 in total without fear of going over those resource limits for benefits programs like SSI. So really, having a CalABLE account is a great opportunity for folks. And so I would encourage you to seriously consider opening an account. But the fine print is you have to know who's eligible. And the good news is that it's not a lot of detail about who's eligible and who's not. First and foremost, in order to be eligible, you have to have a disability. And currently, that disability had to begin before age 26. Now, CalABLE uses the same definition for disability that the Social Security Administration uses when they evaluate you for SSI or SSDI. They have a book that they use. It's called the Blue Book, or the List of Compassionate Allowances. And so if your disability, if your condition is listed in that Blue Book, and you've already been, you've met the eligibility criteria for a program like SSI or SSDI, then you can go right ahead and open a CalABLE account. There's nothing additional you have to do. You go to our website, you start to fill out the forms, and you can open it. But that's not to say that you must be on disability benefits in order to qualify for an ABLE account. You can still be eligible. You just have to go through a few more steps. We call it self-certification. And that's when you confirm under penalty of perjury that you have a disability, that disability is expected to last a year or longer. It's one of those disabilities that's in the Blue Book or the List of Compassionate Allowances. Now, at CalABLE, we ask you to get a letter from a qualified physician that gives a diagnosis, that says that you have a disability, and that disability likely began before your 26th birthday. Now, we don't even ask you to turn that letter into us. We ask you to hold on to it. And the reason why we ask you to hold on to it is because someday somebody might ask for it. It could be the IRS that could ask for it. It could be Social Security if you ever did, on benefits and they discovered that you had an ABLE account. So it's important that you get that letter. But again, CalABLE is not going to ask you to turn that over to us. So what if you have a disability, but it began after your 26th birthday? Well, currently that means that you're ineligible to open a CalABLE account. Again, this is not based on California law. It's based on the federal law that says in order to open one of these ABLE accounts, you have to have a disability that began before your 26th birthday. But there is some good news that's on the horizon. There are a couple of bills that are in Congress that are seeking to raise that age of disability onset to age 46. When that happens, we estimate that there'll be an additional 6 million people across the nation that can open these ABLE accounts. And that number is likely even higher than that. The most important thing for you to know, though, is that age of onset is not based on a date of diagnosis. It doesn't matter when you were diagnosed. And there are many conditions where you may not know that you have that condition until much later. But as long as you have a physician that's willing to say the likelihood that this disability began before your 26th birthday is high, then you're able to open an ABLE account. That's the important thing to know. It's not based on, well, the physician who diagnosed me is retired and so I can't get to them. That doesn't matter at all. You can go to any qualified physician, and as long as they say you have a condition that likely began before age 26, then you can go right ahead and open a CalABLE account. So that's an important thing to know. So who can open these accounts? Well, first and foremost, the beneficiary or the person with the disability can open the account as long as they're an adult. If they are able to manage their own account, they can do that. The person with the disability is always the owner of the account. Even when they're a minor, they're still the owner of the account, and any money that goes into that ABLE account belongs to that individual. It's in their name, and that's an important thing to know. But let's say that the person with the disability is a minor, or they cannot manage their own ABLE account. It can also be opened by an authorized legal representative. And that can be a parent, a guardian, or a conservator, excuse me, or it can be any individual of the beneficiary's choosing. That could be a sibling or a spouse. It can go much further. And that person would then have the ability to make decisions about that ABLE account. They could put money in, they could take money out. That doesn't change who the owner of the account is. The owner is still the person with the disability. It just means that there's someone else that can manage the account. It's important to note that, and I said this at the beginning of our presentation, you're only allowed to have one ABLE account at a time. So you can't open a CalABLE account here in California and then go to Oregon and say, I want to have a second CalABLE account. You'd have to roll your first ABLE account into that other one, or just not open the second one. But you do have the ability to move it around. So what are some common misconceptions regarding eligibility to open a CalABLE account? One of the things that we hear most often is that you needed to be under age 26 when you opened your CalABLE account. And that's not true at all. You can actually open a CalABLE account at any age, as long as your disability began before age 26. So you don't have to worry about, well, oh, I'm 30 now, but I had a disability that began when I was 2 years old, so I can't open an ABLE account. That's not true at all. You can actually open an ABLE account at any age. And we have folks that have opened up CalABLE accounts in their 60s and 70s, just so you know. The other common misconception is that you must have a disability diagnosis before age 26. I just talked about this. It's not based on your date of diagnosis. It's based on when your disability likely began, and that can be determined by a physician that says, well, you have this particular condition, and it's likely the onset began at this age. Another misconception is you must be on benefits to open an ABLE account. There are many people who are on SSI or SSDI or on Medicaid that have ABLE accounts, and it offers great benefits for them. But there are many other people, myself included. I work full time. I don't qualify for any benefits program, but because of my disability, I opened a CalABLE account. I was born with spina bifida, so I have a disability that began at birth. And so I have a CalABLE account. And the reason why I opened this CalABLE account, first and foremost, I was made aware of it because I was hired to be its executive director. So I said, oh, that's a good thing. I'm going to open up an account. But the other thing is it allows me to save my money and grow my money tax-free. And unlike programs like a Roth IRA, where you have to reach a certain age before you can withdraw that money without penalties, with an ABLE account, I can withdraw it at any time without taxes or penalties, as long as I'm using it to improve or maintain my health, my independence, or my quality of life. So that's a really flexible way to grow my money and be able to use the money whenever I need it. The other thing that people commonly believe, but isn't true anymore, is that you must maintain power of attorney over the beneficiary in order to serve as an authorized legal representative. Now, that may have been true at one point in time when ABLE first started, but final regulations were issued by the IRS, and it doesn't require you, if you're not a parent or legal guardian, to have power of attorney. It can actually be, it can be anyone, including a representative payee for SSI. It could be a sibling, a brother or sister, or an uncle. It could be anyone that the beneficiary chooses, and that person doesn't need to have power of attorney over the financial matters for the beneficiary. So those are things that people commonly believe that aren't really true anymore for ABLE programs. So I wanted to make sure that you knew and understood those things. So what do you need to open a CalABLE account? Now, we've talked previously, these CalABLE accounts are online accounts. There are no bank branches to go to. If you went to Wells Fargo or Bank of America and said, I want to open a CalABLE account, most likely they wouldn't know what you're talking about. The way that you open a CalABLE account, the way that you access your CalABLE account happens online. So you have to have web access. You can do it from a computer or a mobile device or tablet, but you have to have web access. You also have to have a social security number or a tax ID number. You have to have an understanding of when your disability began, and we have to be able to get your date of birth and your contact information, your physical address, in order to open your ABLE account. You need to have a minimum deposit of $25. And that's not an enrollment fee. That $25 actually goes into your ABLE account. You just have to be able to start it with at least $25. And then CalABLE recommends that you link a commercial checking or savings account to your CalABLE account in order to have ease of accessing your money. You can transfer money back and forth as long as your account is linked to a commercial banking checking or savings account. Now, that's not a requirement because there are other ways to put money in and take money out of your CalABLE account, but this is probably the easiest and most convenient way to do things. I've mentioned several times that CalABLE is an investment program. And so we have our investment portfolios are managed by TIAA-CREF. They are one of the world's largest financial investment firms. They have over $1 trillion in assets under management worldwide. The money can be deposited into an FDIC insured portfolio, which is very similar to a commercial bank savings account, or you could invest it in one of our 3 target risk investment portfolios. Now, fees vary based on the savings and investment options that you choose, but we've made it where these accounts are very, very affordable, and the funds may be transferred between your investment portfolios up to 2 times per year. So once you put the money in, to a particular investment, you have the ability to change it twice a year. You can also change where your money goes every time that you make a deposit. If you need help opening a CalABLE account, we do have a customer engagement center. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can call them at 833-CalABLE. That's 833-225-2253, or you can send them an email at calablesupport@calable.ca.gov. You can also, because you're friends with me and Ann now, we've been coming and talking to you all this time, and we consider you our friends, you can reach out to us directly, and we're happy to share our phone number and email address as well. But again, we look forward to hearing from you and getting all of your questions. And just want to say thank you. This has been a great opportunity for us to continue to spread the word about CalABLE. Hopefully we continue to provide you with information that's useful. And we really are hoping that as we continue to share our message, you're getting closer and closer to making that decision to actually open a CalABLE account. So with that said, that is my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. And I'm going to drink some water because my mouth gets dry.
Thank you, Dante. And anyone in the audience, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. I'll open it up to anyone who wants to say.
Or if they have any feedback concerning the video, we would love to hear that as well. I know Jeff made a comment, so thank you, Jeff.
I loved the video. I think it's amazing. Congratulations. And when is that launching on your channel?
It'll launch later this month. August is actually Able to Save month. That's when all of the ABLE programs across the country band together to encourage folks to open these accounts up. Many are offering special promotions. We just want to get the word out to share with you that ABLE accounts exist. Even if they sound too good to be true, they're actually very, very real. They are true, and you can benefit by getting started today.
I feel like that's the biggest takeaway that I've had from all of these lunch and learns that we've done together, is that it does seem too good to be true, but it actually is true.
Yes. This is one of those rare circumstances when something that seems too good to be true actually is true. So
Karen Wright says the video rocks.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Really appreciate it.
Love it. Well, I'd love to hear from anyone else. Brain Balance San Diego. Hi.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I just had a quick question. I know the requirement doesn't necessarily require you to be receiving SSI or SSDI, but for the people who are, is there a sort of like campaign or an initial memo to all the people who do receive it in California? They're like, hey, this is going to be available, or this is available. just sort of in a mass like sharing of that eligibility?
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a challenge. And we've tried to, again, so CalABLE is a state program and SSI is a federal program. And so we've tried to bridge the gap and say, hey, let's team up because this is something that can help all the people who are participating in your program if they are aware of this. And because Social Security is such a large organization, they have been reluctant to do any kind of mass communication. They've said, well, we don't want to give the impression that we are advocating or endorsing any particular product, which is a little confusing, but also we can sort of understand because there are other states that offer ABLE programs. But I don't think there's anything that would stop those other programs from going to their Social Security offices and saying do that. We have, though, and thanks in large part to a lot of the work that Anne is doing, is that we have been meeting with the various Social Security offices here in California. We've done maybe 15 or 20 of these education sessions with local Social Security offices to help them better understand CalABLE and to actually ask for their help in promoting it, especially when their clients are bumping up against those resource limits, right? That's the best opportunity for folks when they get that message. You have to spend down your money because you've gone over the $2,000 that we allow you to be able to save. An ABLE account, you can go well above that. You can go up to $100,000 and maintain your benefits. And so instead of saying, go out and buy all the toothpaste and toilet paper that you can, say, open an ABLE account and you can keep that money and you can plan for that rainy day that is sure to come instead of having to spend that money down. And so we're getting good reception on the local end. We really would love to send out because there are probably, let's say there are at least 500,000 people in California that currently receive SSI that would qualify for an ABLE account. And so to be able to reach them all in one foul swoop would be fantastic for us. So we're still going to try and figure out a way to do that.
No, that's good to know. Just because when we do we're able to refer and share this information with others, if we're met with confusion or skepticism, right? Because it sounds too good to be true, but I'm glad that it is. We can kind of navigate that conversation with a little more confidence of, no, this is definitely something that you can do and should look into. So yeah, thank you so much.
For sure. Thank you.
We also are on the Social Security website. So people do go to the Social Security website. They can see, I don't know if it's just, I think it's just ABLE programs in general. Again, they keep it, generic because it's a federal program. But I mean, there is some credibility that ABLE does exist. So if they're looking there is that confirmation.
Awesome. Can I ask your name from Brain Balance?
Yeah, sorry, I'm Chanel.
Chanel, thanks for joining us today, Chanel.
Yeah.
And just FYI, we've done, this is, like I said, this is like our 4th Lunch and Learn with CalABLE. So we have all of them recorded, and Dante and Anne have done wonderful presentations that go more in depth about specific topics. If parents have questions that you're welcome to share. And we do a recap email as well with all of the links to their presentations, so people can refer to those. So we'll send that out in an email to you after this Lunch and Learn.
Perfect, thank you.
Awesome. Well, I think, anybody have any last minute thoughts or questions before we wrap up? Jessica Kirby says she loved the presentation. She really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Jessica.
We got really good feedback from all of our families. And thanks to those of you who filled out the survey. And if I get any more feedback from that survey, if parents keep filling it out, I will send it out to you, Dante and Anne.
Thank you so much.
I'll just keep that communication channel open. And yeah, okay, I think now's a great time. We could take a group picture before we all go. It's tradition. If you'd like to turn on your camera, we'd love to see your smiling face. And I'll do a screenshot. I'll do a little countdown. All right. 3, 2, 1, cheese.